Welcome to Land Academy. This is the Cash Flow from Land show, where we show you how to buy unwanted vacant land and sell it for more on the internet. I'm Steve Butala.
I'm Jill DeWitt. We are your hosts.
With over 15,000 completed transactions, we are the experts in this niche land flipping business.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com. All right, let's get this show started.
Steve Butala for Land Academy. Welcome to our Cash Flow from Land show. In this episode, Jill and I discuss starting a new company and how much time it takes and some of the associated resources we think are needed. Jill, I love this topic, and while LandStay, our regular old land selling operation, is 17 plus years old, Land Academy is still very much in the startup stage. So I think this is a timely topic, and as usual, I think we're pretty qualified to discuss it. Mm-hmm. Hey, before we do though, let's take a question from a caller.
Okay, Stephen from Washington called in and asked, I've only ever used county tax rolls as data to send out mailers. Why is data to doorstep any better than the actual county assessor data? Oh, I love it.
What's data to doorstep?
What is data to doorstep?
I'm asking you.
I know what data to doorstep is. Data to doorstep is our brand new data and mailer bundled program. We have two levels. We have a membership level for our Land Academy members, and then we have a Rogue Pro level because we have a number of professionals out there like real estate agents and things that they just need the data and the mailer part. So they have a Rogue Pro.
So we are a licensed provider of First American Title's data, the same data they use to write title policies. We are not a list reseller, which everybody else is. We're going to actually have a podcast on that whole topic. So that data to doorstep is a product that Jill and I launched and developed and launched. Both of us personally launched it based on the requests we were getting from our Land Academy members. Mm-hmm. You log into a database, the same one that First American Title uses. It's online, and you choose the records that you want based on a bunch of instructional videos that I've produced and that are just, I guess, basically out there on the internet, not just mine, but any of them. Mm-hmm. You choose a data set, and then you print it out, print out offers and wait for them to come back in the mail and buy some property super undervalued. Mm-hmm. That's my 2 cents. That's my description of the silliness that we just created. Well,
the question was, why is it different, by the way? How is it better? Well, because of the format. I mean, I don't know, that's a whole nother podcast, but with data to doorstep, you could do this in a couple hours on a Sunday. You could pull the data, merge it into a spreadsheet, upload it to our printer, and on Monday, they could be printing it out and putting your letters and your offers in the mail. I mean, that's the beauty of it versus the old way.
And what's the old way? I don't think
I'm lucky.
Did you ever do the old way?
I've seen the old way, but I've never done the old way. I've heard about the stacks of reams of paper that you might have got, or you may, if you're lucky, you got on a CD/however, the way the CD was delivered, the data was delivered, it was a jumbled mess, and you had to decipher what it was. And then I've heard even horror stories that not all the property information that you needed was even on the CD.
That's the big difference. I mean, my answer to the question is that the format that First American puts this data in, maybe I should start saying we put this data in. I don't know. First Americans.
We put this data in.
First American, go with we. The way that they structure it, so every county is exactly the same. So if you wanted to purchase data for Maricopa County, Arizona, which is where Phoenix is, you would get a data set. It's cost $50. You'd send it in. You get the data back, and it's just what Jill said, a jumbled mess. You'd have to decipher it. And then if you did it for, let's say, Park County, Colorado, you're going to get a CD, the same thing, but it's just going to be a different jumbled mess, and you're going to spend a ton of time trying to put it in the right columns and get it into a mail merge that's usable and makes sense to you. And First American does this all for you.
Mm-hmm. You know what else I hear a lot of people talking about? They get this stuff and their a way to save money, quote unquote, is hiring a VA to do it. Well, that's great, but the money that you spend on the VA having them try to sort it and figure it out. First of all, you got to understand it before you give it to a VA. How many hours is it going to take a VA when you could have just done it yourself in 2 hours?
We have a podcast coming up that's this exact topic.
I know.
Why would you know, there are certain tasks that you need to hire a VA for, and there's certain stuff you need to do yourself. And
correct.
I'm not going to give it away, but I bet you can guess what I think about data.
Thank you.
I think we answered that.
I think we did also. So what's the show about?
Yeah, what is it about? Oh, how much time does it really take, does it take to start up a company?
I don't know, week, 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Well, let's think. This is good. How long has Land Academy taken?
I'll tell you, I look back on any company that I've started or purchased actually, and how much time it takes to actually become successful and cash flowing and kind of sit back in your chair and say, okay. And it's a long time. Mm-hmm. How much time does it take to get cash flow coming in with our specific model? In a week. Mm-hmm. Where, if you do everything right, a week. If you do everything wrong, like a month.
Right.
So everything for me starts as a side business, and then you really kind of see as it goes, is it going to replace your main income? Mm-hmm. So, with our program, the land program specifically, and the way that we provide the data, we just take all the headaches out of it. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine if you started this and you didn't know where to get anything?
Right.
If our competitor, and I forget about our competitor, other people talk about the concept, and some people like us tell you exactly what to do.
Well, you know what I think about?
Or how we do it anyway.
I look at it this way. We are actually almost like a franchisor. We are actually helping people start their own versions of what we do
Jill, I never thought of it
with their own name on it and everything. We're giving them all the equipment. Say it's like a pizza place. We're telling them where to go buy the pizza ovens, how much to spend.
You're exactly right. I hadn't thought of that way.
All of the secrets. Here's what your logo should kind of look like. Dream it up.
You need a website.
You need a website.
Here's where to go to get it.
It's a whole roadmap or checklist, whatever you want to call it. That's kind of what we're doing right now. I know the topic is really how much time does this startup take, but
right.
So, I'm watching some of our members, and man, they're up and running pretty darn fast. It's weeks to months that they are turning a profit.
Right.
And so, when do you think you're safely out of the startup phase?
Well, for land to buy and sell land, I would say you're out of the startup phase when, and there's a moment for everybody who works by themselves now or for themselves. You're sitting at your desk at work going, you know what? This is not what I should be working on. Oh. I have so much other stuff to do on my side business. I really need to. I probably could make $70,000 or $80,000 if I get these deals complete.
Right.
And you have that kind of like warm feeling.
Right.
It's happened to me several times in my life.
Exactly.
So that's when I think the startup's over, and it varies for everybody.
Right. Okay, that's cool.
I guess it's a roundabout way of saying, please don't quit your job. Don't do that. But you'll know when it's ready.
Right.
You're ready to do that.
Well, part of it is I was thinking ahead before we met. I had to spend some time on this before we did this show. I'm thinking.
You put some thoughts together before we did this show?
Before every show. You make it sound like I come rolling in.
What happened?
From a nail appointment with a latte in my hand and my hair wind blown from the top down, and just roll in and put a headset on and go.
That's exactly what happens.
It's not exactly what happens. I do spend
all
time.
the work. And you come in and you're like an actress.
I do spend time on the topics.
You look good. You sound good. And then we turn the mics off, and then you turn around and leave. Okay,
more than half of that is true. But I did spend some time on topics. You make it sound like I do no time. I do spend some time on the topics, and I help come up with some of these. But what I was thinking before this is it's important to when you're doing this and you're in startup mode. How much time do you have to commit? You need to really think about that, plan it out, because of course, the more time you commit, the faster it's going to go. So if you are single and have no kids and no pets and a little one-bedroom apartment,
in your parents' basement,
and you have your day job, and then when you're done with your day job, you race home and you dive into this, you're going to get there a lot faster. That's just a fact, and that's okay. So dating will come later. Don't worry.
What if you got a job that, when I was in college, I always looked for a job. I had a job at a coffee shop, and I got there. I had to open the place. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. And once it was open and everything was turned on, there weren't a lot of customers. I just sat there and did my homework.
Oh, I'm
what if you
sure
got
that
a job
happens.
like that and just worked on a side business?
I would look for a job like that.
Yeah, me too. That's what I mean. If you're not, especially if you're living in your parents' basement or your buddy's couch or something.
What if you're somewhere and all you have to do is answer the phones? And when you're not, you just answer the phones. Maybe you're just, something like that. That's not crazy.
Yeah.
And you could be working on your side business. Wouldn't that be hilarious? That's the funny. You're the receptionist, and the next thing they know, you split and you open up you rent the office next to them or something funny.
Right.
So, because your business is now, off and running. I think that'd be hilarious. So my other thought about this is thinking about a startup and timing. Do you have a good game plan?
You have to plan everything out.
You really need to
you
have goals, monthly goals.
Neither one of us are, let's wait and see how this happens kind of people.
It's true.
So I really think you got to plan everything out. I don't think overplan, but I think take a piece of paper and put some Roman numerals on it and say step 1 is, and we do that. I do that in the cash flow from land education program for you with all the typed materials and stuff are in there too. Mm-hmm. But I still think you need to write it down for yourself, your version of it. Mm-hmm. Don't you? Like taking notes in a class.
You do? Well, and then
your interpretation of it. What
we're really good at too is reassessing often as things are working. Okay, that's moving forward. You do that. This is not working. I'm going to dump that and swap this.
Is there anything about our little startup that we're in right now where you're saying, oh my gosh, we got to stop doing that? I really misjudged that. That was a bad idea. Like in Land Academy specifically.
Yeah, you know what? I actually have one.
And the counterpart is there anything that's like, oh my gosh, I overlooked this. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it. So what are your two?
Well, my one that I overlooked in the beginning, which we all teach and tell everybody now, ahead of time, be ready, which is social media.
Oh, I overlooked that too, Jill.
I did not fully understand
it works so well
value.
It works so well with LandStay, and it always has. I don't know why we overlooked it for Land Academy. I really did too.
So, and we're still, I'm still beefing up. If anybody listening is a social media pro, I've tried to hire that. I can't even hire that. It's something you have to learn. But
so I just got done before.
We're building it up.
I'm sorry. What's the good one? The flip side.
Oh, what's the good one? What was the question again? Something that worked really, really well and I had no idea?
Yeah, like you didn't, exactly.
Oh, it worked really, really well and I had no idea. Word of mouth.
Yeah.
Word of mouth. How do you say that? We've grown organically.
Yeah.
And without trying. And it's just a wonderful result, I think, of who we are and what we do and what we teach. So that's saved me in other ways because I have got plenty of members and customers and everything because of that. So what's yours?
By leaps and bounds. I had no idea, the effect of the positive effect that a success plan would have. That was maybe your best idea ever. And I'm giving you 100% credit on that. So what happens is Jill's on the front line. She talks to customers and potential customers and stuff all day. And they ask her stuff. Well, that's how we came up with data to doorstep because everybody was saying, well, how do I get the data? Where do I get the data? And then when we would tell them, go over to First American Title and call this guy and tell them that Jill and Steve sent you and get the data. And so everybody was coming back saying, this guy doesn't understand. The salesperson doesn't understand Land Academy. And so I would have a weekly call with this guy. His name was Teague, I think, or Tag, or I don't remember. I'm telling Jill's kicking me under the desk.
I am like, don't throw anybody under the bus.
Yeah. He just didn't get it.
No, and they just didn't get it. That's okay. He didn't understand what our needs were for our people.
Because the vast majority of people were calling in, that call him as a salesperson.
He thinks we're
buying
realtors.
data for houses. Yeah.
Right.
For realtors for houses.
And that's
which, by the way, you can use our data.
Exactly. That's just going to say the same thing.
We're going to launch that program too.
Yeah, the broker program is coming.
But no, Success Plan. It was Success Plan, if you don't know, is our little community. It's a website, successplan.com, where all of our members, there's a free portion area and a paid area where our members collaborate. Mm-hmm. It's an online community. Mm-hmm. We talk about buying and selling land and everything from, hey, I need a photographer in Colorado to, I'm stuck on this part of downloading data. Can you please help me? So we have people, Jill and I have hired people, and we're in there all the time, she and I, answering questions. Mm-hmm. So Success Plan for me was, I developed it, and I did the site myself. I did it in 3 days while Jill was on vacation, literally, and it worked out great. Along the lines of the actress talent thing.
Thank you. Well, here's my other thing about startup and how much time a startup really takes is, have you planned for issues? Because everyone, to quote my friend Steven here.
No, it's more like this. Everyone, stop. This is how this is going to go.
Exactly. Oh my goodness, that's really how he talks outside of this office all the time. Oh my gosh. But it's issues are going to come up. We like to call them speed bumps. Call them whatever you want. But things are going to happen. You need to be prepared for it. So be sure you build in a little bit of a cushion. You're going to be smooth sailing along. Your business is running. And then next thing you know, your credit card company processor they change their rules or something. I don't know. Things happen.
Or they disconnected your credit card processing.
Right.
From your website.
Something.
Which happened to us last week.
Yeah. So you just have to be ready, roll with the punches, and plan for those. I mean, really plan for those, because it's going to happen. Those things seem so tragic when they're happening. Oh, yes. I mean, this is good advice for anyone who's starting a land business or any kind of business. They seem so tragic at the time, but then you look back and it's like, man, I learned so much from that. I know It sounds like a cliche, like your parents are talking to you, but you learn so much, and then you just laugh about it and say, it was really worth it. Mm-hmm. And trust me on this. If you are going through this right now, you're going to look back and say, you know what? That time was so much fun. Versus just like, it may have been a lot less profitable and financially stressful, but it's just fun. Mm-hmm. I get a kick out of this whole phase. I mean, we're out of it. And with Land Academy, we're out of it. With LandStay, we've been out of it for 17 years, but. Mm-hmm. It is fun when you're going through it. It's the excitement and the adrenaline and all that stuff that you have to figure out. It is good. And then you feel so accomplished when you get figured out and you get past it. And you and I've said this often, like, wow, how many people couldn't have figured this out? Right. I'm sure there's 100 people that started down this path. Well, with the obstacle we just had, there went 50. Okay, now there's 50 going down this path, and something else can happen. You go, well, there goes 25 more. There's a reason why some make it and some don't.
We have an ongoing list of questions from members and non-members where they say, really, can you really show me how to do this? And so I usually produce a 3 to 5 minute video, go right in the screen and show everybody how I do it, post it on YouTube to help. So we have a YouTube channel I think it's called Land Academy. It is called Land Academy. Tons and tons and tons of short little videos like I just described, answering some of these questions that are member-based,
We have some property videos up there too, some of our stuff. Yeah. It's all there.
Hey, you want to hear 2 real-world stories that I don't think we've talked about how you're successful? Like talking about a startup?
Absolutely.
So I had, we just hired a new tech guy. And so I have just a long list of stuff that I was waiting to find the right person. So we hired him, and I said, please put up JillDeWitt.com and StephenButala.com. And he did. And it's a 1-page static site with like links to Land Academy and podcasts and stuff. And with each of our, it's like a resume, our bios, our history, company history. It was meant to just be a stage 1.
Right.
Just, hey, if you happen to Google our names, it might come up.
Right.
You know what the number 3 driver on site traffic is to landacademy.com? JillDeWitt.com and StephenButala.com.
Seriously?
Totally unintended consequence. Yeah, I'm not joking. I just checked it on Google Analytics because
really?
Yeah. You know what the number one driver is?
What?
Success Plant.
I love that. I'm sure of that. That's awesome.
Number 2, AWeber.
Huh. And number 4 is AWeber?
Because of your, I'm sorry, did I say 2 and 3? Number 1, Success Plant. Number 2 is AWeber from your Hump Day, Wednesday. Jill does a Hump Day special.
Yeah. I'm going to have a good one today.
On Wednesday, where if you have to be a member. And if you want to be a member, go to LandStay.com and get on that list. And it's called a Platinum Buyers List. And she sends out a super special, ridiculously marked down property deal, which is really what we're supposed to be doing for a living.
Exactly.
Instead of horsing around with Land Academy's podcasts.
Exactly. This is fun. This is fun.
No,
this is what we love.
We could never do Land Academy if LandStay wasn't just killing it.
Exactly. Cool. What's your second story?
I don't know. I think I totally spaced on it. Hold on a second.
By the way, you're starting to talk like me. Did you know that?
Wait,
Michigan's going out. The California's coming in. Woohoo!
Isn't that great?
Who says spaced? Do you say spaced in Michigan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think
is that an 80s thing?
Yes.
Oh.
I bit my inside of my mouth. I wasn't going to say 80s because I know you don't.
Oh,
it's like,
thank you. Well, because you're older than me.
Yeah. Let's just put it that way.
You are older than me.
Oh, the number 2 thing is our sites, all of them, had a fatal error for 6 hours yesterday. You know why? Our podcast permanently crashed because it's so popular.
I love that.
And that was not planned for
everything
at
down.
All. This whole podcast it started because Jill and I were making audio recordings to answer questions. And people liked it. People have super low standards. And they actually listen to it.
Hey, speak for yourself. StephenButala.com.
So no, I to finish that topic, I migrated the site completely to a web hosting service, and it's no longer free. We have to pay, which kills me.
Oh my goodness. I think it's going to be just fine. And then like
sites are fine.
Those hurdles, that's another hurdle. Well, there went 10 people. So,
right. So here's my question, Jill, along those startup lines. I mean, have you ever gotten to a point where it's just, you're just reading a report in the morning. You're saying, Sally over here, you should maybe change this. Take a look at that. I'll be in Mexico.
Oh, do I want to be at that point?
No. Have you ever been there?
Have I ever been there? No, I've never been there. I know you have.
Yeah.
I have not ever been there. I look forward to that.
If we didn't start Land Academy, that's where we would be. So which one would you rather have?
I like a version of both.
That's what I like too.
I like reading the part from the beach and doing the parts of the business that I love. That's what I think is the beauty of the level of what we're at and being an entrepreneur. And when you get going and you have people under you and your company's successful, you get to have other people do all the jobs that you don't want to do.
You ready for a surprise?
Tell me.
You know where we're going on Friday at about noon?
No.
Mexico.
Nice.
Which city? I'm not sure yet, but that's where we're going. Okay. Because everything's running great.
It is. Nice. Why wait till Friday?
I'll see. Do you know, hey listeners, have you ever lived with a salesperson? Everything's a sales pitch. I just told her we're going to Mexico on Friday. No, she wants to sell me something else. Let's leave early.
I just said, why wait till Friday?
You know what salespeople do on vacation? In the middle of the vacation, they plan for the next vacation.
Thanks.
It's a very unique relationship.
I think it's just people that love to travel. I don't think it's that. I just think people that love to travel do that.
We all adore you, Jill. Mostly me.
Thank you.
I win the Jill Adoration Award.
Thank you very much.
Hey, join us in another episode where Jill and I discuss your all-important success in land investment, Mexico, and in life.
That was fun.
It was.
That was really good.
Yet another episode of talking about a bunch of stuff that
has nothing to do with what we really want to talk about. It's another episode off track. I do like
these topics are important. I'm not joking.
I think we covered some good stuff.
Remember when you're in school and everyone's horsing around and having a lot of fun, and your teacher's like, all right, that's enough. We really need to learn this. Mm-hmm. I don't do that enough on this.
Do you know what's really cool about this? Speaking of being a teacher, I wish that we had this when we were in school, but Stephen and I just got tweeted from someone who took one of our classes. We did a stand-in.
Jill and I are teachers substitute teachers for a
business course,
business entrepreneur course at college, at a university here.
Mm-hmm.
That was a nice compliment.
Yeah.
I've never had that before.
I was looking through stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh, that person tweeted us about taking a nice, she made a cute joke about it too. I can't remember what it was. I'll have to go back and read it. It was just it was an informative and entertaining, I think she said, class with us.
Did she tweet us?
Yeah, she put our names.
But she tweeted, right? So how does that work?
She tweeted it.
I'm going to totally show my ignorance right now.
Gosh, I'll show you later. You just pull up.
She tweeted, but so when she tweets, it's all her people that are following her. Right?
No. When she tweets it, she has to put in hashtag. She did. She put in hashtag Jillowit, hashtag Stephen Butala. And so people who then go look at the hashtags, they Google, search that, then that comment will pop up.
Why don't we hire a bunch of people to hashtag our names all the time?
What do you think I'm working on? Yeah. And
I mean, legitimately hashtag our names.
One, every time that you post something, you should be hashtagging it that. Like I do. I hashtag the Land Academy.
You know how you space out when I talk about technical stuff?
Oh no, this is yours?
This is when I space out.
Social media, you do your eyes glaze over?
I get it. And I know why it's important and it's responsible for the success we have. Dramatically responsible for the success we have in the LandStay land company. But
it's very important.
I don't have a natural interest in it like I do with math and real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go buy some property.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com.
If you want to get involved or you need more information about our profitable, niche real estate operation, call 480-467-0359. You just might get Jill at the other end of the line.
landacademy.com. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.